Hello, Dusmanta. How are you?
I'm good, Sanket. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine. You know what made me to talk to you today? I was thinking like uh, something to share with you. So today, what happened is I was trying to uh, shop with trying to shop with my wife, and what happened is we were just trying to enter the cellar area with my car. What happened suddenly? Instead of putting a brake, I just put my foot on the accelerator, and you can imagine the this consequence. So at that point of time, it was actually expected me to do uh, a role play of a efficient or a competent driver, but I was doing something else. So that point of time, obviously, I could not decide or I could not think of. But some point of time later, I thought of why I did this, why I got confused to press my brake instead of a accelerator. And I think that's the situation I thought of let's sharing with you and to understand what actually happened there, why that confusion comes to all of us. And I am sure all of us are going through similar situations and similar consequences we have faced. Maybe not in maybe in the car, maybe in the life, maybe in the career, or maybe some juncture you are currently now. You might be confused whether I should take this path or I should take that path. You may have your options, you may not have. But I just wanted to understand, did it happen anytime with you? And if yes, then what is the solution over here?
Sanket, you rightly pointed out, each one of us, including me, went through these kinds of situations more often. I do agree. Many times we are confused. We are confused, you know why? Because, in my opinion, we operate in the corridor of uncertainty. When we operate in the corridor of uncertainty, we are playing to the gallery. Let me elaborate. What do I mean by that? Basically, what happens when we are overwhelmed by many things, when we are overwhelmed with the sheer of work pressure, my emotional turbulences, my tenacity, my resilience, my patience, when I'm confused, when I'm overwhelmed with all these things, I'm actually not able to decide what to do. More often than not, we are staying in the present. Either we are caught up in the past or thinking about future. In that moment, we are not mindful. The very essence of a human beings are to travel in the journey of mindlessness to mindfulness. When we are caught up in the past or in the future, we are chasing our thoughts, actions, emotions, which is which are unnecessary, which made us becoming more vulnerable, more overwhelmed, and again playing to the gallery and playing in the areas, in the corridors of uncertainty. So I believe each one of us in every aspect of life, as you rightly said, maybe in career, maybe in day-to-day lives, maybe professional space, maybe our emotional state, we're not able to stay in the present moment, in the mindfulness state. So I believe if we could tap those untapping situations, identifying the patterns, identifying, or rather, I would say, connecting consciously with our inner beings. That's how we can become mindful. The moment we are mindful, we can aware. We can aware about our facts, our understandings, our philosophies, our belief systems. Things would much more clearer. When things would much more clearer, we can take or we can choose rather better or right choices. That's what I believe. What do you say?
Yeah, you rightly said. I mean, that reminds me. Your explanation reminds me one of the quote by Lao Tzu, where he talks about Tao Te Ching, which in book and Lao Tzu he talks about if you are depressed, you are staying in the past. If you have anxiety, you're staying in the future. But if you are at peace, then you are in present. So I mean, I'm completely aware of and completely agree to your point of staying in uncertainty and difficulty in choosing the right path is very difficult every moment of life. And I agree that that happens to be very difficult for us for that moment. So some point of time we are emotionally imbalanced, and this imbalance does not allow us to take a clear or conscious decision at that point of time. And some point of time that is also a challenge for our brain to choose something and or to chase the one which we actually need instead of the one which we should be leaving those beside. I think that reminds me one of the situation. I mean, I'm taking an example from mythology. I remember there is a story of Rama in Ramayana. He was actually challenged by one of the person, one washerman, and he challenged himself by saying that your wife has been had stayed with some other person for a longer time. You could have taken an example or examination or a verification of her purity before you accept her. I believe that point of time, Rama being a Rama and I would say the best of the in Hindu Sanskrit it is called as it's a best of the best personality he had. I thought he could have taken a best decision like by saying that I have married to her and I know her and I completely trust her. But at that point of time, he did not do that. He took a different decision of asking her to go through a fire examination, which we call as an Agni Pariksha for Sita. Now that's a different situation. One side he is being a king, he knows what has to be taken as a consciously, and that's why he is a king. And we, like I said, we call him as a Purushottama, the best of the best personality he had. But at the same time, he has taken a such a different decision, and which actually eventually given a pain to her wife, his wife, and Sita got through the fire examination, right? So I was like, is it due to the emotional imbalance, or is it due to the choosing the right path, or challenging, getting a challenge of choosing the right path? How do you think? Which one would have taken in that point of time? You can give your thoughts.
Maybe let me share my thought. So let me give a quotation. Let me share what Theodore Roosevelt says. He once said, "I care not what others think of what I do, but I care very much about what I think of what I do." That is character.
Mhm.
So the point is, if I make those inferences into our day-to-day lives, and again reconnecting or connecting back to our earlier question of overwhelmingness. The point is, we often carried away by people's perceptions because we give so much value what others will think. The moment we give back our power, our energy to what others will think, then we are falling into prey of those situations. Basically, the point you are trying, and I could understand, there is a pattern of taking conscious decisions. The moment one takes that decision to consciously connect, what will happen? Four things will happen. Number one, we can use impeccable words to ourselves and to our fellow members, family members, peers, colleagues. It will not only enhance our confidence or enhancing or elevating our circumstances, situations, but also it gives us clarity in thoughts, clarity in helping everybody to coming to one particular conclusion. Next, point number two, when we play, when we become aware or being present in the mindfulness, what will happen? We do not assume things. This is one of the most dangerous thing these days we the global citizens are doing. In this era of social media, we're actually assuming many things. That assumption leads to many more thoughts. That leads to more actions, more emotions. So if we play, if we stay present and act mindfully, we do not assume things. Number three, when we are conscious, aware, we do not take things personally. The moment we do not take things personally, it will not touch our emotional quotient. It will not hurt us mentally and emotionally. When we do all these three things, like using impeccable words, motivating words, encouraging words, or not taking things personally, or not assuming things, it will help us doing our work very effectively. If I put it other way around, it will help us taking or choosing right choices, making right decisions. That will lead us to the right results. Robin Sharma says, three-stage success formula. If you are aware about your facts, you will choose right choices. Right choices leads to right decisions. Right decisions eventually leads to absolute fanatic results. That's how I believe. I believe you would agree with me. What do you say? What is your opinion into this?
I think, Dushmanta, you made my path clearer, and you removed the obstacles, the challenges, what I was having while I asked this question. And then, since when I got this accident, I was thinking on that same question of confusion. And I remember the confused person or the accused person are actually the people who are not responding quickly with information about the name, location, time where they are. The actually confused people are deviated or like disoriented, right? They are having difficulty following instructions. But when you are consciously aware about yourself, you are able to promptly and spontaneously to state your name, location, date, time, are said to be oriented to about yourself, the place or the time. So I think you made, not only made myself, I am sure you have given so many clarity with your questions, the codes that will clarify and awaken our mind. And I think that clarity, that awareness, and the awareness of about yourself will helpful for us to be in the present, stay in the present, and think about the present situation. Usually we are I believe our design model in our brain has been taking that sometimes pendulum wise in past and sometimes to future. So past to future we are actually rotating with, but to stay in the present, I believe it's very difficult, but you rightly said that if you are able to control your thoughts, control your awareness, and then go towards the path of awareness, or I would say consciousness, then you will not have that confusion in your mind anytime in any situation in your life. I think that's something I got it from your discussion and your quotes and examples. Nicely done. Any last thoughts your side before we close our discussion today?
So the philosophy we brought in today to our audience, we started with confusion, that is the negative aspect of our life, and we are seeking light in the form of clarity. So in this journey, we reached today with a conscious quotient, confusion to conscious quotient. Basically, while staying in the present moment, we are consciously connecting with ourselves so that we can tapping the internal text messaging, the instinct, the gut, the yellow alert. So that's how you are talking about not identifying, not remembering, not recollecting those instances. The moment you are staying in the present moment, your gut, your instinct will take care of the present moment. Just we need to connect consciously to our inner being. Thank you.
Great, great, Dushmanta. I think I liked your explanation and then clarity to the topic. I think let me take a small moment to acknowledge the last episode to till this episode that we have done confusion, then we came to clarity, and now we are moving towards consciousness. So I think audience must have taken something from this discussion, and I'm sure we will be adding more values with more C's to this C2C is a wonderful discussion process. Myself, Sanket Kumar, and along with me, Dushmanta, presenting you C2C's second episode, Confusion to Consciousness. Thank you.